When God tells us to do something, it's for our own good, not just because He wants us to do what He says to do. He created the earth for us to be able to dominate it, for us to have dominion. And He's teaching us and telling us how to have an abundant life like He wants us to have on the earth. He doesn't only want us to be abundant materialistically, He also wants us to be abundant spiritually. Because when we are spiritually abundant, then we know how to maintain and sustain the material blessing. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, God gives the Israelites a great commandment. He says, "Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you go to possess it, that you might fear the Lord your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, you and your son and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as the Lord God of your fathers has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey." Now, everything God is telling them to do has to do with their abundance in the land of milk and honey that God has promised them. It's for them to be able to live a good life in that land. He's not saying do this just because I said so. He's saying do this because this is what's going to get you this. But when we are disobedient to what God says to do, then we get the exact opposite, which is what I would say is a short life and poverty. And then he goes on to say, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and with all your might." And we should love the Lord with all our mind, all our heart, and all our soul because he created us, number one. Number two, because of who he is. Number three, he keeps his promises when we are obedient. So when God says to do it, he's not saying do this just because I said so. He's saying do this for your own good.